Hello and welcome to today's meditation and journaling session. Now, this is our first Sunday in July. So I do the weekly meditation and journaling sessions, usually released Fridays. So the first Sunday of every month, I will be doing this live now. So you can always join live or do the recording afterwards, which is fine. Our theme for this month is vibration, pulsation, Spanda. So when you look into the tantric lineage, we see the word Spanda come up a lot. And of course, there's a lot of different variations on exactly what this means. And I know a lot of people work with it in asana classes in terms of like that internal vibration. But for the purpose of meditation, I'm going to take that a layer deeper and talk about energy that is created by our thoughts and our emotions, right? So when we understand that everything is energy, and this is something that the yogis have talked about, the Buddhist monks have talked about it, most of the ancient lineages have talked about it, everything's energy. And then you fast forward to modern times, and physics basically says the exact same thing. Everything is vibrating at a frequency, right? And humans are the one, let's just say, entity on this planet that have the ability to consciously shift our frequency of vibration, right? So we know that there's different vibrations for just things like health or sickness. There's different vibrations for joy or sadness. There's different vibrations for anger. There's different vibrations for, whatever energy that we're feeling. And we know that's true because when we walk into a room and maybe somebody's just had an argument, maybe we didn't hear the argument. We're going to pick up some cues based on body language, but most importantly, we will be picking up on the frequency of what those people are vibrating at currently, right? And it's the same within ourselves. We know somebody's angry with us, not just by the look on their face, but we're picking up something deeper. Vice versa. You walk into a room and somebody's just very happy or at ease. Somebody that's just, you always spend time around them because they're so relaxed. They're so at ease. Nothing ruffles their feathers, right? That's a frequency of vibration that we are picking up on. And it allows us to then feel more at ease, just as if we walk into a situation where there's anger, aggression, arguments, stuff like that. We will feel, the hairs on the back of your neck, just like, a dog sort of like prickling. We'll start to get in defensive mode because our picking up on that energy will affect our energy and we will instantly go into defense mode. It's not even conscious. It's a subconscious nervous system reaction. So the wonderful thing about the yoga practices is that we get to understand we have the ability to control our thoughts and emotion, therefore our vibrations. Now, in a day-to-day life, we are always creating energy, but we're doing it by default. We go throughout our day and, something pisses us off or something makes us laugh, and we're just kind of like bouncing around like a ball randomly in a pinball machine most of the time. But when we start to move into conscious thought process, that's when we have the ability to start to go, wait a minute, I'm pissed off now. Nothing happened. I'm angry. I'm driving to work or walking to work or whatever, and I'm agitated already. And you are going to attract the frequency of more agitation. So even though maybe the first thought that created the agitation was something, 2, 3, 4 hours ago, you are going to attract more of the same frequency because your body is going to just go, yeah, okay, I guess we're on this roll. Same as, have you ever like shared a joke with a friend and throughout the day, months, weeks, years, I do it for years, you're still laughing about that joke every time it pops up into your brain. And your body radiates with that same joyful laughter frequency, right? So, this is where we can go, well, wait a minute, what do I want to focus on? Where does my vibration need to be? Maybe I want to get myself out of frustration, anxiety, worry, anger. Maybe I want to have more ease, peace, um, relaxation. Maybe I just want to have more joy. All of these things can be conscious decisions, right? And so what we do is we identify what is the thought that triggered. And then we choose something that feels better. And we can't go night to day. So, like, if you are feeling crappy for whatever reason, maybe it's anxiety, maybe it's anger, you can't all of a sudden go, well, I want to feel happy now and go from depressed to happiness to joy. That is such a huge leap. You have to basically be a Labrador puppy to do that, right? Because they don't care. They're not taking in all the other stuff around them, right? But for us, we're analyzing everything. And that's what we tend to do. The first moment we come across that we're thinking, oh, I'm so pissed off because this happened, blah, 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 blah. And it always happens. And it's, this person's always annoying me. And I've had this conversation with them before, but they're still, So we go into analytical mode. And again, the frequency of that thought will carry us, it will hold us in that vibration. That vibration will hold us in that frequency, right? So what's the next best feeling thought? So let's just play a game because that's what we're going to do in the meditation. So say I did have an argument with somebody that I constantly have arguments with, and it can be a spouse, it can be, a sibling, a parent, a child, a worker. It doesn't matter. A friend, a frenemy that you're always, there's one subject that, always triggers both of you, right? And you have this argument and you're spinning around with it. The person's gone, but you're still saying, I should have said that and I should have said that. So I already know. I go, okay, wait a minute. Do I want my body to radiate this frequency? Because it's going to affect every cell in my body. And so then I have a choice. All right, what's the next best feeling thought? Okay. It can be something as simple as just going, well, they've been a friend for a long time. And there's a lot of good qualities that they have. So let me think about one of those good qualities, or let me remind myself of a good memory I had with that person, or a good memory I had in that situation. Say it's a work situation. Well, I do enjoy when we do XYZ at work. So you linger on that and it's kind of attached to the person, but not, I'm not now attached to the moment that created that energy. But I'm still going, oh, okay, but yeah, a couple weeks ago we went and we saw a movie and we had a nice time and it was great and we didn't bring up the subject. Okay, that was good. And then maybe that can help you trigger, oh, and I really enjoyed that movie. That was great. And maybe it makes you think about another time. Oh yeah, and we went camping that one time when we had so much fun and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you're not trying to fix the problem over here because that's the thing. Because when you have that dialogue with somebody else, what do we do? Yeah, but if they'd only do X, Y, Z. No, you keep going in this direction. Don't go back to the argument or the thing or whatever, And then you go, oh, this person maybe is really important in my life. And then you get to a point where you're out of that energy. Now, if you want to raise the vibration more, that from that point, think about something completely different. But leave your last thought about this situation or this person in a somewhat more positive. It doesn't have to be, oh, I love them with all my heart, right? Because then we do the whole, but they're such a bastard. But da, 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 da. Don't do that. Just little like baby steps up the ladder. And then when you get to a point, you're like, okay, yes, I can feel that. Yeah, we had a really nice time last month doing whatever it was we're doing. So my next step is, what does bring me good joy? What brings me into a place of ease? What do I really like doing? And then maybe it's just you remembering, oh, I really liked that dance class I went to, or I really like that book I'm reading. And it doesn't have to be related to the situation at all. But the more you focus on something that raises your vibration, it only takes 17 seconds, right? 17 seconds to continue your thought process in a certain vibration, whether it's positive or negative, in that certain vibration, you are more likely to then find another good feeling thought. Or if you're on the other end of the spectrum, find another bad feeling thought. Because we all know what it's like. If we let the thought process swim around down in the downward spiral, we'll find loads of things about either that person or that thing, but also other things that are pissing us off that day. And then this happened, and then that happened, and that, and we'll just continue down, down, down. By the time we get to the end of the day, all we're doing is just going, yeah, what a shit day, instead of going, no, there was a crap moment in the midst of a great day. That's what we're aiming for, because the frequency that we vibrate at will raise with our thought process. And the more we linger on those positive thought processes, we change the vibration, the energy that we're living in, right? Which will lead us to that sense of ease, which will lead us to that sense of joy, contentment, and satisfaction. I mean, those are wonderful things I'm satisfied. Like, I'm just satisfied right now. I had a really satisfying sandwich today. Like, that can be, if that's the thought that brings you out of the vibration, of a heavier vibration, the rest of your day is going to go better, because then you go, oh yeah, and then after that sandwich, I had a really nice coffee. It's that simple to change our vibration. So that eventually, and this is our homework throughout the month, recognize what your first thought is in the morning when you wake up. Now, to begin with, most people don't think you can control that. Like, I wake up and I'm thinking, but all you have to do is notice it. Do I wake up and go, oh, I didn't get enough sleep? Once you recognize that, I wake up and, oh, I got so much to do today, or whatever it is. Can we recognize that thought and go, okay, I want to change that thought? Today's going to be a good day. I don't know why, but today's going to be a good day. And then see, can I just think about, well, what would make this day a good day? You think about again, like, oh, I'm gonna have a really nice cup of coffee. And then I enjoy my drive or my walk to work, or I've got a class that I'm going to teach that I really enjoy, or I'm going to see some people later today. Like, dwell on those things. And you might have a list of other things that aren't so great that you have to do, but don't dwell on those. The more you dwell on the things that are going to be nice through the day, the more you will be able to complete let's just say, the unwanted tasks that we all have. The unwanted task will become easier, right? Because we change the vibration of how we woke up in the morning. It's a challenge, but that's your challenge for the month as we go through it. So please leave me comments here and let me know how you're going with that, right? So as I've been talking, I hope that I have brought to mind a few of things in your own life that you regularly go, oh yeah, I know I have that exact situation, or that relationship with that person, or maybe it's something with the job. So you already have that in your mind. So we're going to go through that whole process, but in our meditative state, so that our subconscious is already picking up on this. So this is why it becomes so helpful to do these kind of meditations. And you've got this recording, so repeat this meditation as often as you like, with as many different things in your life as you like, right? Because it does work. Because again, we're quieting the mind, we're slowing like the loop, and we're getting focused. And when we get focused, that's when we can really go, okay, now I'm ready to change this vibration. So, if you haven't already, get into a nice, comfortable seat. So, if you've got something to lean against, I always recommend lean back against it so you're not, halfway through the meditation slouching or getting uncomfortable. Again, if you're sitting on a chair, great. Sitting on the floor, great. Whatever makes you comfortable, that's the most important thing about meditation. And then hands on the knees or the thighs, close the eyes. And first of all, we just allow our awareness to arrive in the body in stillness. So notice where your feet are, if they're touching the ground, and in whatever way they're touching the ground. Notice the legs, the pelvis, the low belly. Can we really relax in the low belly today? Travel through the spine. Just recognize if you've got equal space, front and back. Notice where the shoulders have landed. Take a moment to swallow deeply. And then turn your awareness to the breath. And we begin by just noticing the inhales and the exhales. They might change, they might not, but just the observation. This is what we call dharana, one-pointed focus. And I just let my mind observe the breath in and the breath out. And maybe you already notice a shift in energy. If you were relaxed before, is there a deepening to that relaxation? And observe how that makes you feel. And then we take our awareness to the heart center. And you might breathe a little bit deeper. Or just be aware of the space in the upper body around the heart. The lungs expanding and softening around the heart. This is really where we have easier access to tap into our vibrations, our energy. And then from a place of curiosity, trying to stay out of triggering a reaction, but from a place of just curiosity, bring to mind the situation, the person, or whatever it is that you would like to shift the vibration on. And hold that in your heart. So almost like you're looking at it from the perspective of a scientist looking at something underneath the microscope. You're examining this thing, but you're separate from it. Maybe you will shift energy a little bit into that sense of whatever it is, anger, frustration, anxiety that it brings you, just for a moment. But remember, you're the scientist, you're the observer. It's separate from me. It's not happening right now. And then can we look at it from a different angle? And if it involves a particular person, like I mentioned earlier, is there time most recently that you enjoyed being with this person that was separate from this particular trigger point? Yeah. Can you remember them laughing? Can you remember laughing with them? Or if it's a project or a work thing, can you remember something else around the aspect of work that brings you a sense of, yes, like, oh, I like that bit. And linger in that. Remember, like, can I look at this now under the microscope? And then can I elevate a little bit? It doesn't have to be huge. Was there a moment with this person or based around this situation or event that was actually really joyful? And it doesn't have to be such an immediate memory. Maybe it's something that happened a few months ago or years ago, even. Oh, yeah, we had that great time. Don't analyze it. Don't figure out why it's in your past and not in your present. Just remember what you felt at that moment. And try to linger with that energy. And then let that situation go, still feeling that energy. Visualize something else in your life that brings you a sense of deep satisfaction, joy, or maybe just ease. And it can be as simple as sitting in the sun, basking in it, or doing your asana practice, or dancing, and just tune in to how that makes you feel. Linger in that thought, and just like it's a new slide under the microscope, we're looking at it from all different directions. I like this about it, and I like that about it, and I like how it makes me feel afterwards, and I enjoy the people I'm with when I do this thing, or linger in it longer, expand on it. As if you had to write a 500-word essay on it. How many different ways can you describe it and feel what you're describing? And then let's place one palm over the heart center and the other one on top. And see if you can visualize this sensation, this vibration you've cultivated, just washing over every cell in your body. Start from the top and wash it all the way down, or imagine you're slowly immersing yourself in this sense of joy or ease or happiness. And then gently blink your eyes open. Grab your journals, and the prompt today is whatever is coming next brings me joy. Whatever is coming next brings me joy. And then write whatever happens, whatever comes out of your pen. Don't think about it. Just write whatever's coming out. But the prompt is whatever's coming next brings me joy. It's a 3-minute exercise if you haven't done this with me before. And I've got to check my timer. I think it's about time. So go ahead and when you're finished, when you've got that sense of conclusion, go ahead and put your pen down. And of course, as always, those of you, if you're on a roll, just hit pause. But when you're ready to come to that closing, once again, let's place one palm over the heart center and the other one on top, closing the eyes. And just observe what is the frequency you're vibrating at now. And whatever happens next, within the next half hour, few hours, few days, can you just remind yourself, can I find a better feeling thought than this? Can I aim for a better feeling thought and let it linger? This is where the practice begins. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. The rest of the month, the meditations are all pre-recorded, but I love reading your comments below because it always helps me kind of guide the information that I'm bringing you. And I've got the strength training coming up and the live asana class every Wednesday. And don't forget, those of you that have been thinking about coming to Greece for the retreat in Greece the first week of September, or to the embodied dance and yoga retreat in Sweden the first week of August, there's still spaces on both of them. So I'd love to see you in person, even better. Namaste.